as amended.
I'm asking you, sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to anyone.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to one, except you've spoken to one. Bitcoin.
As Bitcoin blasts up to regain its previous day dumpage, Gary Gensler shakes and sweats big time as he collapses in front of the House Financial Services Committee. And what you're about to witness in this video is absolutely 100%, without question, some of the wildest data you have ever seen. Right now, Bitcoin price remains right around the $30,000 level after an itsy-bitsy-witsy little dump yesterday and a little itsy-bitsy pump today. Bitcoin is kind of just still right around those local ranges. But something even much bigger is going on. And I'm going to spend a lot of this video talking about that because specifically, Gary Gensler, the current, but potentially not for much longer, SEC head, was just ripped wide open and many things were done during that process. And I want to jump into this actually a little bit here. So Gensler was asked if his direct staff looked into FTX, and he said he directed the staff to look into crypto intermediaries, but this was like an entire month, 1 or 2 months even after FTX collapsed. Which in my opinion, and anyone's opinion, is basically a complete failure of the SEC to do its job. It did not protect anyone. And as well, the House Committee on Financial Services wrote a letter blasting the SEC chair, Gary Gensler, for his hypocritical stance on digital asset regulation, which is the craziest thing to me here, is that Gary Gensler of the SEC repeatedly has said, if you want to be a law-abiding exchange, all you have to do is come in and follow the rules, register with us, and you'll be good, right? But the crazy part about all of this, which Gary was blasted for, rightfully so, is that there is no clear rules and no place to register. So it's a complete misrepresentation. I don't even know how that's legal. They're basically saying, if you would just follow the law, you could operate an exchange. But there's no law. There's no way to do it. There's no way to come in and register. It's literally impossible. It doesn't exist. So I mean, this might be acceptable if you're running like a first grade sandwich competition or like some kind of thing where babies are there. But this is the SEC. There's supposed to be some level of competence within the SEC, right? You expect that the people at the SEC to have at least, not even an entire brain, but at least a fraction of the brain within their skull, right? This is shown to be not the case. Doesn't seem to be the case at all, right? The come in and register line is so tired, Ryan says here. No one believes you. They've never issued comprehensive guidance about how. It's just complete baloney. As Wayne comments here, registration is impossible. Been there, done that. So with that being said, I do think it's also worth noting that we're going to get in more about this, but Gensler, if he's truly pushing innovation offshores, which it's very likely he is, right? Coinbase, after, SEC, everyone's going after Binance and Bittrex and all these exchanges. Coinbase is considering leaving the US if regulatory clarity doesn't emerge, which it has not. And if Coinbase leaves the US, it will be very bad for the US. It won't be bad for crypto. Crypto will be fine. But the point is, the U.S. will not benefit from that. So if the U.S. is getting pushed out of this opportunity because of someone like Gary Gensler, it is everyone's job to do everything they can to get him removed, right? And I'm going to point to more things in a second here regarding that. But if Coinbase leaves the USA, Gensler is the only one to blame, right? And with the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, really stepping up his rhetoric against the U.S.'s approach to regulation, it's baloney. There is no clear guidelines or regulation. And so you should be furious about this. You should expect that there should be some competence, and there has not been. But this is amazing, and I tweeted about this. 2 absolutely insane videos that I absolutely recommend watching in my Twitter description below at the very top of my profile. Government Majority Whip here, Tom Emmer, his testimony was insanely powerful. He talked about how not only did the SEC not protect any investor from FTX or anything, what he wants to do, just push innovation out of the U.S. Because there's no other option under Gary Gensler's rule, under his reign. By doing that, it's not only I mean, it's harming U.S. investors in every way imaginable. It is just not good. And you have to think, is he in bed with entities against the U.S. or something? It's absolutely insane. But now I want to switch gears a little bit before we continue with that. Liz Young here talking about this. She obviously recognizes there's a lot of bearish momentum here, but the Kappa curve she talks about, a long-term momentum indicator, recently gave a buy signal for the first time since 2009. And this is much broader than Bitcoin, much broader than crypto. And just something I think is a sign we should be looking at. But as well, Congressman Warren Davidson introducing a bill to sack the SEC chair, Gary Gensler. Beautiful. That would be amazing, right? We do actually have a clip of this here, and I have this over on Twitter as well.
Of failures to protect investors and abuses of power make it clear that we need to restructure the Securities and Exchange Commission. The failures are many, but let me cite some of the abuses. You average more than 2 rules proposals a month. You provide inappropriately short comment periods. You have unworkable and unlawful ESG disclosure mandates on the market. You have essentially a Hotel California rule for crypto where you can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. You have endless discovery with no resolution and no clarity for the captives in the market. You have unworkable proposals for overhauling equity market structure, a de facto ban on crypto through proposed custody rule. You have high staff turnover, unhappy people leaving your office, and unhappy companies and capital leaving our country. To correct a long series of abuses, I'm introducing legislation that removes the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission and replaces the role with an executive director that reports to the board where all authority would reside. Former chairs of the SEC will be ineligible under my proposed bill. And this isn't just my take. It resonates across the political spectrum. The American people want democratic access to capital, retail investor participation. You can't just exclude retail investors from markets and claim it's for their own good. Our markets need to function and flourish.
And Titan of Crypto highlighting a $50,000 Bitcoin price target when Bitcoin crosses the blue line of the power law corridor to the upside. It's a matter of 1 to 2 months before it reaches this red line. Currently, the red line is at about 50,000 US dollars here. Absolutely very big. And TechDev pointing out that every time Bitcoin moved to new highs, it started with this, with the RSI crossing above 50 here, and this 10-year downtrend breaking to the upside as well. Very bullish for Bitcoin. And as well, Immortal posting this on Twitter, posting a fractal as it continues to absolutely bust here. And what it would look like if it would continue, which so far it looks very good for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues this on this 12-hour chart, it would show that Bitcoin absolutely, as we kind of end April, making a very strong move, again, up to potentially that $40,000 level, which is a very big level that I've been talking about for a very long time that I think is... I just think it's a likely target to look at for Bitcoin. But right now, again, we saw Bitcoin. Right now, it's actually bouncing right on its 21-day moving average. So the momentum still looks pretty good here. We got a dump yesterday, and that was quickly eviscerated. So we'll just have to wait and see. But again, I absolutely think the more important story of the day is the SEC, Gary Gensler, getting absolutely creamed, showing in full view how he has been harming the U.S. more than anything. Not only is he not protecting and has failed to protect a single retail investor from the big bad crypto, right? He's harming innovation horribly by failing over and over again to have the smallest levels of competency to at least have some sort of framework or something, right? If you're going to tell exchanges or businesses to come in and register, then you have to have a way for them to do that. It is absurd that people can get up, especially someone in charge of the SEC, they can get up and say that lie. Oh yeah, if you just follow the rules, you don't have the rules for anyone to follow, so they can't do that. It's absolutely absurd. Immediately, we should have somebody new at the SEC. We should have some sort of framework. Obviously, I believe that we should do what Warren Davidson proposed, which is introducing a bill to sack him, the SEC chair. Gary Gensler. I think that's the best for the U.S. as a country, and it's the best for investors, because this is by no means helping anyone. But with that being said, Bitcoin's still trading right within the bone zone. Absolutely the bone levels are off the charts here. Absolutely gigantic. But as well, if you're interested in trading, currently I'm up about $25,500 in profit. If you're interested in trading as well, sign up with the links below. If you sign up with Femex, 0 fees when trading spot, in addition to massive deposit and sign up bonuses when you sign up with my link below. And as well, actually, we just celebrated our 500th block with our ADA pool. So if you're interested, there's a tutorial in the description. It takes 2 minutes to sign up. And you just keep, you keep your ADA in your wallet. It never leaves it. You have full control of it. You can unstake it whenever you want. But if you stake with our pool, you can earn rewards, free ADA rewards, in addition to also CCCC tokens, which is just like an extra added bonus that you don't even have to claim if you don't want to. You claim them via drip drops if you want them. Without any further ado, it's free.